Alright, well, not too long ago we had that Nintendo Direct where a lot of games got revealed, one of them being The Legend of Zelda, where you play Zelda, where they tried to create a fake outrage among gamers saying, oh no, it's woke, they've ruined Zelda, Link is now trans, and all that garbage. Didn't work. Most of us were pretty hyped about a lot of the games Nintendo revealed, despite the fact that we've seen Nintendo of America take more of an approach where they are trying to push, let's just say, more of the agenda into some of the games. That being said, a game that people were really hyped for was Metroid Prime 4, which, to be honest, in my years of being a Nintendo player, it was the second console I ever owned. I think we had an Atari when I was like 1, and then of course we had the original NES when I was like 4. That being said, never really played much in the way of Metroid. I had like one or two of them on different systems. I never really got into it. I was more of a Halo person and then got into other shooters and stuff. That being said, a lot of people are hyped about this. Been waiting a long time. I think it's like 7 years since the last Metroid game came out. So a lot of people are excited and ready for this game. And of course, it's done by a studio which is actually completely owned by Nintendo. So it's their, it was founded in 1998 by Jeff Spangenberg as a second-party developer Nintendo, and now it's completely owned by Nintendo. They have over 50 employees. So it's a pretty cool deal. Nintendo's making this game essentially in-house through Retro Studios. That being said, I saw this tweet from Melanie Mac earlier, and it caused a bit of alarm. Now, I'm going to say right now there is a happy ending to the story, don't worry, but I was pretty disturbed by what was revealed in these tweets here. So Melanie Mac had tweeted out and said, one of the writers for Metroid Prime 4 has openly said she supported the idea of Samus Aran being transgender. This is a real thing. So from this website here we'll take a look at, they have this article saying Megan Fausti of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is writing Metroid Prime 4. That is not a typo, that is not a misprint, that was the real deal. And of course, you get to this article here from Shine Sparkers. It says, it seems that a pretty major hire has evaded our attention for a long time. And this article, it should be noted, is from 2021. We have learned that a writer for Metroid Prime 4 was hired in July of 2020, according to LinkedIn. Her name is Megan Fausti, and she previously had written games such as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was published, of course, by Respawn Entertainment. In previous posts, we've shared that Retro is hiring a storyboard artist. One of the responsibilities of this position was to help define emotional scenes that will resonate with audiences. This, along with a former Star Wars writer being brought aboard to pen the next Metroid story, tells us that Metroid Prime 4 will have a large narrative focus compared to the previous games. Best luck to Megan in her role. Now, the reason this matters, especially because we've seen this terminology before, these narrative designers, people who are driving the emotional and narrative story of the game, is that a lot of them all have the same nose ring, pink hair, blue hair, green hair, ideological lean. And this article here on Wikitroid, so I guess it's the actual wiki for Metroid, says Megan Fausti is an American video game writer. She was hired as a writer at Retro Studios in July 2020, meaning she could potentially contribute to Metroid Prime 4. So this was not, at the time, this was not hearsay. This is pretty much a verified fact. In 2015, following an article published by the Mary Sue, which is always dangerous when you go with Mary Sue, that suggested Samus Aran was a transgender woman, which cited a potentially transphobic statement made by Hirofumi Matsuoka in 1994, and we'll get to that tweet in a second, or that statement. Fausti tweeted her support for the idea and personal belief that Samus is and will be transgender. This tweet was liked by the article's author, Brianna Wu, but has since been deleted. Brianna Wu, who, of course, part of Gamergate, somebody who I do believe is not biologically the same sex that she or he lives as now. Again, I'm genuinely curious. I don't know about Brianna Wu, but they've, of course, flipped a new leaf, and now they're saying how progressivism is cancer and they've gone too far, which is absolutely hilarious to see. So the statement that they're saying, this Hirofumi Matsuoka guy said that was so questionable, so terrible, was this statement here. It says, during a post-development interview in the Japanese Nintendo official guidebook for Super Metroid, when asked if there were any secrets about Samus that only he knew, Matsuoka claimed that Samus was actually a new half, a Japanese term for a transgender woman. The Metroid database, in their unofficial translation of the interview, used the English word she-male, which is roughly the English equivalent. A later interview with Yoshio Sakamoto would joke about the same quote from said interview, saying that a Metroid game was as likely to come to PlayStation 2 as Samus was to be transgender. Despite this, the claim led to much debate regarding his legitimacy, considering that while Matsuoka was a member of the Metroid Prime development team, the level of involvement which he had in Samus' original character design, if any, is uncertain. So this is where this all started. One, maybe taken out of context statement back 30 years ago now, And all of a sudden, we're running with this idea that she's trans. We're going to get this ideological, political activist writer to write the story. And of course, she said down here, Melanie Mac did, some comments are saying she was fired. Let's hope that's the case. We don't need this stuff in our games. And this one guy, Back in Black, says, I just checked her LinkedIn. She works at Certain Affinity now. And of course, you can see on her LinkedIn, that's where she currently is working. And she is still a lead narrative designer. And again, the thing about these lead narrative designers that we've seen with certain games, especially with the game consultancy firms like Sweet Baby Inc., is when they get these narrative design roles, these jobs, they essentially craft the story and the direction and the sexual orientation and a lot of the things in these games that become so objectionable to many of us who just want a more or less politically ambiguous game with a good story. And that's what ruins it. And of course, the company she's now working at, Certain Affinity, the name rang a bell and I was trying to figure out why. They've actually been involved in a lot of game development and production, some of them being games as big as the Halo franchise, Call of Duty, World of Tanks, this one here, Age of Booty, I don't know about. But again, they have had a hand in a lot of different franchises. Hogwarts Legacy, Prey, New World, Gotham Knights. So if these are the kind of people that they have working for them, you have to be very, very concerned because, of course, Megan Fausti, who still has her account protected, theirs, apparently is their pronouns on LinkedIn, has previously, far back as 2020, been on panels with Sam Maggs. And if that name rings any bells, it's because she was the political activist who was supposed to be writing the Knights of the Old Republic remake script, who luckily moved on to go help ruin, Wizards of the Coast over with the Dungeons and Dragons and trying to make that game as woke and politically correct as possible. But you can see right here, Sam Maggs on a panel right next to Megan Fausti. Absolutely hilarious that these people all run in the same circles. They're all the same grifters. They all do the same thing to every franchise and industry that they touch. They inject their own worldview, their own ideological bent, if you will. And it's unfortunate because along the way, they ruin a lot of great games, remakes, remasters, sequels, prequels. It doesn't matter. Anything they touch, they tend to ruin. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this, and I will catch you later. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.